Chosen ones, this is not a normal message. If this video found you at this exact moment, it's because heaven wanted your attention before something major happens in your life. God is saying, watch this alone right now, because not everyone around you can handle what is about to be revealed to you. Some people would laugh at it, others would try to block it. But deep inside you already feel something shifting. You've been sensing strange energy, unusual signs, sleepless nights, and moments where it feels like God is pulling you away from distractions for a reason. This message is not for everybody. It's for the person who has cried in silence, fought battles nobody knows about, and kept going even when life tried to destroy them. The enemy thought you would give up, but God kept you alive because your story is not over. In fact, heaven is preparing to shock everyone who underestimated you. Before this month ends, someone who ignored you will remember your name. Doors that stayed locked for years are about to open suddenly, and the people who secretly worked against you will be forced to watch God lift you higher than they ever imagined. But first, God needs your full attention. That's why you must listen carefully and alone, because what you're about to hear could change the direction of your entire life forever. God removed the noise for a reason. There are moments in life when God intentionally removes the noise around you, not because he wants to hurt you, but because he wants to prepare you for something greater. Many chosen ones mistake isolation for rejection. They think people abandon them because something is wrong with them, when in reality, God is pulling them away from confusion so he can speak directly into their spirit. Some lessons cannot be learned in crowded rooms. Some revelations cannot be heard while surrounded by distractions, negativity, and constant opinions from others. That's why lately you may have felt disconnected from certain people. Conversations that once excited you now feel empty. Places that once felt comfortable suddenly feel draining. You may even notice yourself wanting more silence, more peace, and more time alone. This is not an accident. God is changing your spiritual sensitivity. He is teaching you to hear his voice above the noise of the world. Every great person in the Bible experienced seasons of separation before stepping into destiny. Moses spent years alone before leading nations. Joseph was separated from his family before entering his purpose. Even Jesus often withdrew from crowds to pray and receive direction from God. Isolation has always been part of spiritual preparation. What's happening in your life right now is deeper than loneliness. God is clearing distractions because the next season of your life requires focus, wisdom, and spiritual strength. Some people around you carried energy that slowed your growth. Others only had access to you because they benefited from your kindness while secretly draining your spirit. God saw what you could not see. The truth is, not everyone can go where God is taking you. Some relationships expire when your purpose begins to grow. That's why God is teaching you to become comfortable in solitude, because in silence, clarity is born. In separation, strength is developed. And in isolation, God reveals the secrets that will transform your future forever. You are closer to your breakthrough than you think. The pressure you've been feeling lately is not a sign that God abandoned you. It's proof that your breakthrough is getting closer. Many chosen ones give up too early because they mistake spiritual warfare for failure. But what you must understand is this: the enemy only attacks what carries value. Nobody fights an empty person. Nobody tries to destroy someone with no purpose. The intensity of the battle around your life is evidence that something powerful is waiting on the other side of this season. Right now, you may feel tired of waiting. You prayed, believed, stayed faithful, and still watched doors remain closed. There were nights you questioned everything, moments when you wondered if God even heard your prayers. But what you cannot see is that heaven is already arranging things behind the scenes. Delays do not mean denial. Sometimes God keeps you waiting because the blessing he has for you is bigger than what you originally asked for. Think about it carefully. Before every major breakthrough in life, there is usually confusion, resistance, and discomfort. Before a child is born, there is labor pain. Before David became king, he faced betrayal and battles. Before Joseph entered the palace, he went through the pit and the prison. The struggle always comes before elevation. The enemy wants you exhausted because he knows what happens if you remain patient. He knows your testimony will inspire others. He knows your success will silence people who doubted you. He knows your future carries influence, favor, and spiritual power. That's why everything has felt heavier lately. But the pressure is not there to destroy you, it's there to prepare you. God is saying, do not quit now. What you've been praying for is already moving toward you. One unexpected moment can change your entire life. One opportunity, one connection, one divine favor. Suddenly, everything that felt delayed will make sense. And when your breakthrough finally arrives, you'll realize God was protecting you, strengthening you, and preparing you the entire time. There are people watching your life quietly, even if they never admit it openly. Some are amazed by your strength. Others are confused by how you continue surviving battles that should have broken you. And then there are those who secretly hoped you would fail. But no matter their intentions, one thing is certain. Your journey has captured attention in ways you do not fully realize. Chosen ones often underestimate the impact they have on others. You may think nobody notices your struggle, your growth, or your resilience, but people are always observing silently. They watched you go through heartbreak and still keep moving. They saw you lose opportunities, yet refuse to give up. They expected your spirit to collapse under pressure, but somehow you kept standing. That confuses people because your strength does not look natural, it looks spiritual. Some individuals secretly compare their lives to yours. They wonder why you continue rising after every setback. They don't understand how someone who faced so much rejection can still carry peace, wisdom, and determination. What they fail to realize is that God's hand has been protecting you the entire time. Even during your darkest moments, heaven never left your side. This is why your elevation will shock many people. Those who ignored you will suddenly remember your name. The same people who underestimated your future will become witnesses to your transformation. God loves using unexpected people to display His power. He takes the overlooked, the rejected, and the underestimated, then raises them in front of everyone who doubted them. But be careful. Not every watcher is celebrating you. Some study your life because they are inspired, while others watch because your growth threatens them. Your light exposes insecurities in people who secretly fear becoming irrelevant around you. That's why you must protect your energy and stay spiritually alert. The truth is, your story is becoming impossible to ignore. God is turning your pain into power, your struggle into wisdom, and your survival into a testimony. Soon, the same people who questioned your future will have no choice but to acknowledge that God was always with you. Every painful experience you went through was shaping you into someone stronger than you realize. The betrayal, rejection, loneliness, and disappointment were not meaningless attacks. They were part of your spiritual training. Chosen ones often ask God, "Why did I have to suffer so much?" But later they discover that the pain they wanted removed was actually building the strength they now carry. What almost destroyed you ended up developing wisdom, endurance, and spiritual power inside of you. There were seasons when you felt abandoned. People you trusted turned against you. Doors closed unexpectedly. You gave your heart to others only to be misunderstood, ignored, or betrayed. At times, it felt unfair. You wondered why your life seemed harder than everyone else's. But what you didn't understand then is that God was preparing you for a purpose that required unusual strength. Easy lives rarely produce powerful people. Pressure creates endurance. Struggles create maturity. Battles create wisdom. God allowed certain storms because He knew your future assignment required someone who could survive difficulty without losing faith. The pain taught you lessons success never could. Now you can recognize fake loyalty faster. Now you value peace more than attention. Now you know how to survive alone when nobody supports you. The enemy thought suffering would make you bitter, weak, and hopeless. Instead, it made you spiritually sharper. Every battle increased your discernment. Every disappointment taught you how to depend on God instead of people. Every tear strengthened your connection with heaven. That's why you are no longer the same person you used to be. People may only see your current strength, but they don't know the private battles that built it. They don't know how many nights you cried silently while still praying for strength to continue. They don't know how many times you almost gave up, but somehow found the courage to keep moving forward. Now God is turning your scars into proof of survival. Your pain was never wasted. It was transforming you into someone unshakable, wiser, stronger, and spiritually prepared for the greater destiny waiting ahead of you. Not everyone around you truly wants to see you win. One of the hardest truths chosen ones must learn is that some people can smile in your face while secretly hoping for your downfall. That's why God sometimes allows hidden enemies to reveal themselves slowly over time. He wants you to see people clearly before he takes you into your next season, because where God is leading you, fake loyalty becomes dangerous. Lately, you may have started noticing strange behavior from certain people. Some act differently around you when good things begin happening in your life. Others become distant when you share your dreams, victories, or progress. There are people who clapped for you publicly but secretly felt uncomfortable with your growth privately. The moment God's favor starts becoming visible on your life, hidden jealousy often rises around you, but this is not meant to make you fearful, it's meant to make you wiser. God is exposing hidden motives because he loves you too much to let the wrong people walk into your next chapter unnoticed. Some individuals only had access to you because they benefited from your kindness, your energy, or your generosity. Yet behind closed doors, they doubted you, criticized you, or quietly competed with you. The spiritual battle becomes intense when elevation is near. The enemy often works through confusion, gossip, manipulation, and betrayal to distract chosen ones from their purpose. That's why discernment is becoming stronger inside of you. You can now sense energy differently. Conversations feel different. Certain environments suddenly feel heavy. This is God sharpening your spiritual awareness. Remember this carefully. Exposure is protection. When God reveals someone's true intentions, it may hurt at first, but it saves you from greater damage later. Some people must leave your life before your blessing fully arrives. Otherwise, they would sabotage what God is trying to build for you. Do not be discouraged by what gets exposed. Be grateful. God is cleaning your circle before he changes your life. The same hidden enemies who underestimated you will soon witness God elevate you in ways they never imagined possible. A sudden shift is coming into your life, and deep inside, your spirit can already feel it. Something has been changing around you lately. The old version of your life no longer fits you, but the new season has not fully arrived yet. That uncomfortable feeling of being in between is not confusion, it's transition. God is preparing to move you from one level of your life to another, and major shifts often begin quietly before they become visible. Many chosen ones expect God to work slowly, but sometimes heaven moves in a single moment. One phone call can change your future. One unexpected opportunity can open doors nobody could close. One divine connection can introduce you to the breakthrough you've prayed about for years. God specializes in sudden turnarounds. In the Bible, people went from prisons to palaces, from sickness to healing, from lack to abundance almost overnight. When God decides it's your season, nothing can stop what he is about to do. The reason this shift feels uncomfortable is because God is breaking old limitations off your life. Certain mindsets, relationships, habits, and fears cannot follow you into your next chapter. Before elevation happens externally, transformation happens internally first. That's why you've been feeling restless lately. Your spirit knows you are outgrowing environments that once felt familiar. Some people around you may not understand the changes happening within you. They may think you're becoming distant, quieter, or different. But the truth is, you are evolving. God is separating you from distractions so you can recognize the opportunities he is placing in front of you. The next season of your life requires sharper focus, stronger faith, and greater discernment. Do not fear sudden change. Sometimes the blessing arrives faster than expected. Sometimes God answers years of prayers in one unexpected season. This is why you must stay spiritually ready. The breakthrough you've been waiting for may arrive in a way you never imagined. And when it happens, you will finally understand why God made you endure everything you survived. Those strange feelings, repeated signs, and unexplained moments you've been experiencing are not accidents. Your spirit has been receiving warnings long before your mind fully understood what was happening. God often speaks quietly before major life changes occur. The problem is that many people ignore the signs because they expect heaven to communicate in dramatic ways. But for chosen ones, God frequently uses intuition, dreams, sudden feelings, and deep spiritual discomfort to get their attention. Have you noticed how certain situations no longer feel right? Maybe you felt uneasy around specific people without knowing why. Maybe you've had dreams that stayed in your mind for days. Maybe you keep seeing repeated signs, hearing the same message everywhere, or feeling strongly pulled toward isolation and prayer. These are not random experiences. Your spirit recognizes shifts before your physical eyes can see them. One of the gifts God gives chosen ones is spiritual sensitivity. While others ignore danger, distractions, or hidden motives, your spirit feels the change immediately. That's why you must stop doubting yourself every time you sense something deeply. Many times, God has already been warning you before problems appear openly. What people call a strange feeling is often spiritual discernment trying to protect them. The enemy also knows when your breakthrough is near. That's why confusion, emotional exhaustion, and distractions suddenly increase before major blessings arrive. The goal is to disconnect you from your spiritual awareness. If the enemy can keep you distracted, entertained, or emotionally overwhelmed, you may miss the warning signs God is sending. This is why prayer and silence are becoming more important in your life. God is sharpening your discernment because your next season requires wisdom. Not every opportunity is from God. Not every person around you carries good intentions. And not every open door is meant for you to walk through. Pay attention to what your spirit has been sensing lately. God may already be preparing you for a major change, a hidden truth, or an unexpected opportunity. The warnings are not there to scare you. They are there to guide and protect you before your next chapter begins. What you are facing right now is deeper than ordinary stress, bad luck, or difficult people. The battle around your life is spiritual. Chosen ones often notice that they face unusual resistance no matter how hard they try to move forward. Delays appear suddenly. Relationships become complicated. Opportunities disappear at the last moment. Emotional exhaustion increases without clear explanation. This happens because your life carries purpose, and purpose always attracts spiritual opposition. The enemy does not waste energy attacking people who have no impact. The reason your journey has been so intense is because your future carries influence, healing, wisdom, and power that can inspire others. There is something inside of you that darkness recognizes even before people do. That's why certain attacks seem repetitive. Every time you get close to peace, growth, or breakthrough, something tries to shake your focus. But the battle is happening because your destiny matters. Many chosen ones spend years blaming themselves for struggles they never understood. They think they are weak, unlucky, or forgotten by God. But the truth is, there are spiritual forces fighting against the greatness attached to their lives. The enemy wants you distracted, discouraged, emotionally drained, and disconnected from God because he knows what happens if you fully awaken to your purpose. This is why you must protect your spirit carefully. Not every fight deserves your attention. Some battles are designed to pull you away from your assignment. Arguments, toxic relationships, constant negativity, and unnecessary distractions can drain your spiritual strength if you are not careful. God is teaching you discernment, so you stop wasting energy on things that were sent to slow you down. But here is the powerful truth. If God allowed the battle, it means he already placed strength inside you to survive it. You are not fighting alone. Heaven has been protecting you even in moments when you felt weakest. Every attack you survived proves that God's hand has remained over your life. The warfare may feel intense now, but it will not last forever. Soon, the same battle that tried to destroy you will become the testimony that reveals how powerful God truly is in your life. God is about to reward your loyalty in ways you never expected. There were seasons when you stayed faithful, even while everything around you was falling apart. You kept praying when heaven felt silent. You kept helping others while secretly carrying your own pain. You stayed kind after betrayal, stayed humble after rejection, and stayed hopeful during moments when giving up seemed easier. People may not have noticed your sacrifices, but God saw every single one of them. Chosen ones often go through hidden seasons where it feels like their efforts are invisible. You watched others receive recognition while your own struggles remained unseen. There were moments you questioned whether your prayers were reaching God at all. But heaven never ignored you. God was testing your endurance, your character, and your loyalty during the difficult seasons. Because true faith is revealed when nothing seems to be working. The enemy wanted discouragement to make you quit before your reward arrived. That's why the waiting season felt so heavy. The longer the delay became, the more tempted you felt to lose hope. But God was building something deeper inside of you. He was teaching you patience, resilience, and complete dependence on Him instead of temporary validation from people. Now your season is beginning to shift. The tears you cried privately are about to turn into public victory. God is preparing blessings that will make sense of the pain you survived. The opportunities, connections, favor, and breakthroughs coming into your life will not happen by accident. They are rewards connected to your faithfulness during hard times. Some people only stayed loyal when life was easy, but you remained standing even during spiritual warfare, rejection, and loneliness. That kind of endurance carries power in heaven. God never forgets the people who stayed faithful while fighting silent battles. Very soon, people who overlooked you will witness God elevate you. Doors that stayed closed for years will suddenly open. And when your reward finally arrives, you'll realize God was never ignoring your prayers. He was preparing a blessing bigger than you imagined. This message did not appear in your life by accident. Out of millions of videos, millions of voices, and endless distractions online, something pulled you here today. That is not coincidence. That is confirmation. God wanted your attention because your spirit is entering a season where you must stay spiritually alert. Chosen ones rarely receive warnings the same way everyone else does. Sometimes God speaks through repeated messages, unexpected moments, or a deep feeling inside that refuses to go away. This message found you because heaven wanted you to hear something before your life changes completely. You may have been feeling lost, emotionally exhausted, or uncertain about your future lately. At times, it felt like nobody truly understood the battles you were fighting silently. But God saw every tear, every sleepless night, and every moment you almost gave up. The reason you are still standing is because your purpose is greater than the attacks against you. There is something special attached to your life, and the enemy has been trying to distract you from realizing it. This message is confirmation that you are not forgotten. God is positioning people, opportunities, and breakthroughs around your life right now. What looked delayed is suddenly about to move quickly. The closed doors, confusion, and waiting season were all preparing you for a greater assignment. Soon, things will begin happening that you cannot explain logically, but you must remain spiritually awake. Not everybody around you will understand where God is taking you. Some people will doubt you. Others will secretly watch your transformation in silence. Still, God is about to prove that His hand has been over your life the entire time. Years from now, you will look back at this moment and realize this message was the warning, confirmation, and encouragement you needed before everything changed forever. Chosen ones, after hearing this message, one thing should now be clear. Your life is not ordinary. The battles you faced were not random, the delays were not punishment, and the isolation was never meant to destroy you. God has been preparing you for a season that will shock the people who doubted you and reward the faith you kept during your darkest moments. Right now, heaven is shifting things behind the scenes in your favor. Doors are opening that no enemy can close. Hidden truths are being revealed. Divine opportunities are moving toward you, and the same God who protected you through every painful season is about to elevate you in ways you never imagined possible. But remember this carefully. Stay spiritually alert. Protect your peace, protect your energy, and never ignore what your spirit has been trying to tell you, because not everyone can go where God is taking you next. One day, people will look at your life and realize that God's hand was always upon you. The struggle did not break you, it transformed you, and the pain you survived became the foundation for the powerful person you are becoming now. If this message spoke directly to your spirit, then this was not coincidence. This was confirmation. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Your reward is already forming, and your next chapter is about to begin.